Welcome, everybody, to the Follow D Money podcast. It's your boy Stretch here once again. And today, I get to bring in one of the people I look to when I'm down, when I'm not feeling myself and I want to get a good laugh out. I'll go to his Instagram and my favorite posts. I'll let him tell you about it later, but he is a man of the people. He serves on boards. He is a stand-up comedian. He is a friend of mine. I would like to welcome Dwight Simmons to the Follow D Money podcast. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you, homie. Thank you, Stretch, man. I appreciate it. That's kind words.
Hey, man.
I was like, I hope he don't stop talking. You know why?
I
He's just going to lay out the compliments. He's just going to lay out the compliments. You can do the whole hour. I'd leave.
I can talk about you for an hour.
I appreciate it. That was very kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because we talk about how like comics have this responsibility to kind of just power through and do your job. So thank you for saying that. You looked at me as like a pick me up because so much of the comedy I post on Instagram is like militant, hostile, black, and the comments are like, that didn't pick me up at all. The comments are always like, well, why can you say it and I can't say it? I was like, well, white man with an eagle and a assault rifle for your profile picture. You can say it. It just ain't gonna be as funny.
Right. How did you know that you were funny? When does a person say, I'm a comedian?
Ooh, those are two different questions.
Oh,
I think.
Okay.
I think so I grew up like loving stand-up.
Yep.
Like my parents always watched. You remember BET Comic View?
Absolutely.
My God.
Absolutely.
They watched that every night.
Yeah.
And I watched that with my parents. And
do you remember, there was a comedian on there named Mad Marv. Do you remember Mad?
I do.
My auntie dated Marvin. Yeah. That was,
what?
Yeah, I know
This
Marvin.
is the podcast now.
I grew up knowing Marvin very well.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, what was he? He
super
kind of
cool. I love
stage persona a little bit.
Yeah, but he's just really cool, really funny in real life.
Yeah.
But he was like, for me, he was like her first boyfriend that I really liked.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I didn't know how big he was in comedy until after I got older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's crazy about back then is like you could get this showcase spot on a, nightly show.
Yeah.
It was just more accessible. And then that would launch your career.
Yeah.
Whereas today, like if you get like late night or you do like a 15-minute Comedy Central special, it doesn't necessarily reset your career in that way. But yeah, I just grew up idolizing the art form.
Yep.
I'd go to, I'm going to age myself, but I'd go to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
You remember Blockbuster?
I do. I'm
for
older
the
than you.
kids, for the kids, Blockbuster. See what a DVD is. How far do I got to go back?
Right.
I'd rent VHSs of like George Carlin and Richard Pryor and all that. Like, I love that stuff. And I think a lot of comedians, you go to school and humor is like a survival mechanism.
Yeah.
So when I was like, oh, I can make people like me by repeating these jokes I heard the night before and kind of like finding the nuances and like finding the timing. It's like, oh, if I say it like this, if I say this joke like this, I get a bigger laugh. Then I don't get bullied on the bus. You know what I mean? So like that's when I found out that I could use this as an actual tool. And then I didn't know I wanted to be a comic until like much later.
Would you say you were like a class clown or you were...
Yep, definitely. Especially my parents grew up on the east side of Indianapolis.
Okay.
And then we moved to Carmel in middle school. Yeah. It's a big
That's
jump.
A big difference.
It's a big jump. It's a big jump. It's all black people to just me and my
your family.
My parents.
Right.
So definitely using those skills of like, it's almost like survival.
Yeah.
You're going to a place where people aren't familiar with your culture.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh, I can just make them laugh. I'm gonna do these black jokes to make people laugh. And that way I know people like me.
Yeah.
And then they're not so focused on our differences, even though we're, like Chappelle was big when I was in high school, Chappelle show.
Mm-hmm.
Talk like every sketch is about race.
Right.
But everyone liked it. Like it wasn't just race jokes for black people. It was like white kids like this, like everybody likes this. And so I saw the uniformity in like what a actual laugh or what an actual joke.
I think
that's powerful.
But I think that the Chappelle Show is that was his problem with the Chappelle Show. Everybody laughed.
Yeah.
But people were laughing for different reasons.
Exactly.
And we were trying to figure out what is actually funny to us, maybe shouldn't be funny to everybody. You know what I mean? Because
100%.
I think that good comedy is based in the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes funny in how you describe it. Like how you reenact the truth makes, to me, good comedy.
Right.
And I think with the Chappelle Show, it opened up a door of this person is laughing at this way, and this person is relating and laughing in this way.
Right.
And Chappelle was like, man, this is too much.
It's almost
I'm
a mockery of like the
Yeah.
thing. And what's funny about that is that that's my own evolution of what I like to write comedy.
Okay.
I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. I quote Bruce Lee all the time.
Too.
He has this where he's talking about teaching martial arts and learning it himself and becoming a master.
Yeah.
It's like before I learned martial arts, a punch was just a punch and a kick was just a kick. While I studied it, it was no longer just a punch and no longer just a kick.
Yeah.
After I mastered it, it was just a punch.
Yeah.
A punch is just a punch. And a kick is just a kick.
That's
I feel that way about comedians a lot. It's like in specific jokes, you're like, while you're in it, you're like, first off, you start with the premise. That's the joke. And then when you're working it out, you're taking it apart and then you're trying to reassemble, find tags, find the timing, do all this like weird, funky shit. And then the finished product, we're just back at the joke again.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's dope, man.
I love that like nuance aspect of like the work.
Did you know the work though? Like when people want to be a rapper and they can rhyme, but then they learn that they got to have a cadence. They learn that they have to have so many things in 16 bars. They know like all these nuances about the art.
Yeah.
You became funny and then you started to learn about comedy. What was that evolution like for you?
You learn a lot standing in front of people with some stuff that you were laughing at in the car that you wrote and they don't laugh. We call that a bomb in the business. You learn a lot with a bomb because I was driving 3 hours to Evansville laughing my ass off. I was like, I'm going to kill him in Evansville tonight. Crickets. You're like, maybe, am I crazy? That's the education. It's like, you should take it personally.
Okay.
And then you go back to the drawing board, you rewrite.
Yeah.
No one knows that work until it goes sideways.
Yeah.
You're like, was it my fault? Was the audience trash? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it was a little bit of both, but how do I survive in that environment again?
Yeah.
Being a black comic in the Midwest, you have to be able to survive in these rooms.
Yeah.
And to me, it became very important not to compromise my morality.
Okay.
Or change who I was as a person.
Yep.
I never wanted to be a character. I always respected like character comics, but I always loved like Carlin or Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. It's told stories.
Yep.
Love storytellers. Chris Rock was my favorite comic.
Yeah.
Build a set and then don't compromise who you are.
Yep.
That was my, career before I moved to New York, was like going to these Midwest rooms, going to Martinsville, Indiana.
Woo.
Where they tried to lynch a guy like a couple years ago. And being like, you kind of had to make fun of them. They respect you if they know what their perception of them are. Yeah. Now I have an hour to tell you who I am and give you my experience. Yeah. Do it through a humorous lens. Yeah. Open, the mouth's open for laughter, just shoving some food for thought.
Wow. So when you go to crowds like that, you take the same material that you have to have different material.
You got to flip it. You have to.
You use the same material, but you say it differently, kind of?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore.
Okay.
I've been doing it long enough now that I actually get booked from people that's seen my material versus me just going and being like, can I do your tavern, please? can I do your Elks Lodge? I promise it'll be funny. I'm like, who's this nigga? You know what I mean? It's like, so now it's a little bit different where I don't have to, I'm not so self-conscious.
Okay.
About what people are going to think of particular jokes.
So basically, you got to a level to where you're not walking into a room that you don't really know what the crowd is. You know what to expect most of the time.
And that's experience as well. Right, and it's just confidence within your own material and your own skill set.
Yeah.
I do a wide-ranging amount of material, talk about my life, my parents, talk about politics, which isn't touchy at all.
No, not at all.
No, everybody's getting along.
You have material on politics?
Everything is good. Everybody laughs. Nobody leaves mad. Nobody's in the comments saying, I'll find your wife I've never gotten a threat.
Oh, my God.
No, I love political material.
Yeah.
When it's done well.
Yeah.
We're so inundated with politics all the time in our lives that I've kind of pulled back from it.
Yeah.
Where it's this delicate thing of like, we are all seeing what's happening. Of course I want to talk about it, but I don't want to beat you over the head with it. If this is supposed to be your, like you got a babysitter, you got a date night, you spent $30 on tickets, you buying dinner, you buying 2 drinks, and then I'm going to rant about the state of the world.
Right.
To me, it has to be, goofy, or your audience has to be so ready for that. Like they know that that's a possibility when they buy a ticket. Yeah. So I'll do like 10 minutes and then it's hit or miss, but I'm good with that.
Yeah.
At least I can say I went to these places. Like I was just in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Swing state radio, baby. It's funny, you go to like swing states and all the radio stations, it's like you go to a bar and they're like, oh, they're playing Beyonce and then they got to play Kid Rock. They don't know what the audience is.
No middle ground.
It's just like, you know what? You just play it on the jukebox. I'm not dealing with this anymore. But yeah, man, I think it's just, I love the art of writing and I love to use it as a therapeutic form for myself.
Okay.
And when a joke works, that's still the fucking most amazing thing in the world. When a joke works that you wrote, it's the release of thousands of endorphins. You're like, oh, fuck, okay, I got him, baby. I'm not that kid in the car again, crying on the way home.
Yeah.
I thought they was gonna kill. I did a Garfield joke. Yeah, man. So I'm enjoying where I am now, but to answer your earlier question of like that evolution of did I know what the work is? Absolutely not. You don't know it until you're there and, you reach a plateau. How do I get past this plateau? Moving back from New York to Indy was challenging. It was rough. Kind of, you kind of have to get over this level of defeat. It's like, I didn't do the thing out there.
Right.
Even though things were going well, it's like, how do I switch up the game plan? And that happens a lot of times in a comedian's career.
Yeah.
Navigating peaks and valleys is like part of the circus, man.
Yeah.
It's part of the thing. So.
On your journey, there had to be someone or a few people that you look to for a perspective that you didn't have because you were new to the game or you're new to New York even.
Yeah.
Who along your journey were some people that kind of helped you along the way?
That's a fantastic question. Comedians can be very generous.
Yep.
I opened up for a guy here. His name's Keith Alberstadt. He's been on Conan. He was headlining. It was like one of my first times emceeing.
Yep.
Took me out, got coffee, and I was like, man, I'm moving to New York. And he's like, all right, here's all the places you got to hit up. Yep. Here's what nights. Here are the people. But that's like the extent of the generosity. It's like
he told you where to go.
I mean, but like, don't call me for like. No, you can't use me as a reference. I just met you. Bought you a coffee. You can't never be happy. I love the concept of finding inspiration from places outside of comedy.
Oh, okay.
I talk about Bruce Lee. Like grew up loving his movies. Yep. He's a philosopher at heart, and I love that. Like reading those books. Like I was a big reader. I wish I still read at the level that I used to read at. But like, I love hip hop. Like, I listen to like the Roots, and I'm like, man, the way that they would structure an entire project, an album, was very intentional and so different than anything that I heard before. So I look at those things like mentorship a little bit.
Okay.
It's also, I started getting good at a time where podcasts started popping off, like WTF with Mark Maron. He would have comedians on and they would just break down process.
Yeah.
Listen to that shit for like 90 hours. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, there is like structure to this.
They were like giving you game.
And most of the games just pick yourself up and go hustle.
Right.
Like, of course, like most nights is not going to go, but you're building something. Yep. And, you know, a lot of comedic advice is like, get on stage as much as possible. And that's true. It's not sage, but it's accurate.
Wow.
One, you got to find your stage voice. And two, within that, you find confidence to like strut a little bit. Dang. Like Chris Rock talked about when he's working on a special, you know, we see these Chris Rock specials and he's bigger, blacker, he's stalking the stage and he's alpha and he's like very in charge. And he's like, I worked on that special. I would get a big ass notebook, go to the club, sit on a stool and just read the jokes. Damn. And he's like, if it got a chuckle, it's like, oh, there's something there. And he would just take notes on stage. Yeah. And then he was like, when I thought it was ready, I would go to a nursing home in Newark, New Jersey. He's like, the oldest, whitest people I could find. I'd work the jokes there. It's like, if they laugh, the special's ready. Works, yeah. I was like, I love that thought process of getting outside of your own bubble to test to see if the joke is funny.
That's crazy.
Because that's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
I was saying earlier that I think that comedians are brave. And when you have a new joke, how long does it take from its inception to you trying it in a crowd?
I'm a little different, so It takes a long time. And also, thank you for calling us braves, but we're not. We're not, man. We're sociopaths. Like, we're not brave. Like, we're not. Firefighters are brave or fucking like, we just stand on stage and complain for an hour. Like, that was really brave what you did up there.
I will tell you this, bro. I've seen comedians on stage where you can hear a pin drop and they're still doing their bit. Yeah. And I'm up there like, I'm looking at them like, Lord, help this person.
Yes.
Like oh my God, like I'm hurting. I have anxiety watching this person.
Deeply
and
empathetic.
This dude is killing in his head. Like he's not missing a beat. And that is brave. I mean, I know people who would just turn around and walk off.
Yeah, just
2
like
minutes
done.
in, like, nothing, guys. All right, I'm out.
Done.
Like, but
done.
These comedians,
and
I mean, I've seen people do this multiple times. Like, I'm in Indianapolis. I go to different shows. I see people bomb time after time.
Name names. You trying to go viral or not?
I've seen people bomb. But
for sure.
The thing is, they're not, I don't know if they're bombing to them.
No.
They're not bombing to them.
We don't have, like, a lot of quote-unquote comics.
Yeah.
We got to have a conversation, another podcast about who gets to call themselves that. But that's a conversation for another day. A lot of them don't have the gear to turn. They don't have anywhere to go. Like, they may have only 5 minutes of material. Right. So whether it's going well or not, this is what you're getting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And they're just going.
Oh, man. It is.
Wow.
To me, it's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
If I see it like once, because I've been doing it too long. I'm jaded. So seeing someone fail is deeply funny to me. Seeing someone, you see people that just like backstage shadow boxing, and I'm like, what are you preparing for? And like, what do you think's gonna happen out there? But yeah.
So as a comedian, when you see somebody bombing, it's hilarious to you?
Yeah, because I've been there. Like, I've been there. Like,
that's so fucked up, bro.
There's a club at Morty's where I got heckled so bad that they turned off the stage lights.
Damn.
Yeah. they turned off the stage lights. And I was just up there.
And you just
I was just sitting there. And I was like, and I'm in the dark and hearing people snicker.
Damn.
They go, oh. And then they turn the lights back on. It's just me like trembling. Yeah, man. If you ain't had that shit happen to you, whatever bombs happening to you is funnier.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's this comic. She's famous now. His name's Miss Pat. She's just brutal. There was before I accepted the bald look.
Yep.
Did you go through the denial phase?
Nah, bro, never. Hey, look, let me tell you. I'll tell you my phase.
Yeah.
I had braids.
Okay.
And I had to get them done all the time, right?
Yeah.
I went to go get my hair braided one time.
Yeah.
And the girl told me, "Oh, you got a little bald spot." I said, "Stop." I said, "Stop."
Shave.
Shaved it, right? I never had a middle phase. I was instant bald.
I could show you some pictures of
you
were like, why would Dwight leave the house? What did he think was happening? And I had a big afro, but I still like this shit wouldn't keep up. And then like I was doing a bit at Morty's and Miss Pat just yelled, "Looks like somebody set a yarmulke on that boy's head." I was like, whoa.
While you was on?
Yeah, bro.
Man.
I went home and got the razor. I'm fucking slow. Never again. You need that. You need that humiliation. I said, never again. Not a
She
yarmulke.
made you better.
Miss Pat, the most hood comic, pulled out yarmulke, bro. Like what? You know how deep? Oh, that one hurt. But
that was tough.
yeah, that's tough.
So laugh at those motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's like now it's funny. Like they're gonna look back and laugh, hopefully.
It's like Dwight Simmons laughed at my biggest bomb.
Bro.
And I got better because of it.
You do get better if you want to. If you want to get better.
Yeah.
Because when that happens, you gotta like just laugh it off on stage.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what could I have said? Like you're laying awake in bed, trying not to cry. It's like, yeah, she cooked my ass.
Yeah. You always got these comebacks.
Got Band-Aids on my head because I ain't shaved my head before. Yeah, what would I have said to her?
The only thing I want to know about bombing is, it's always the room, but when you bomb, how do you go back? How do people go back and do the same material over?
No, it's bad, but it's not that bad. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not the worst.
That's
thing
why it's like the bravery thing. It's like,
but that's the bravery thing though, because a person like myself, once that happens, I don't want to be a comedian anymore. I'm done being a comedian. Like,
yeah, but we're masochists.
I bombed so bad. So I'm just like, I hate myself. Time to move on to another profession.
Yeah, I'm done. It's like, I don't know, man. It's you bomb, it feels terrible. It's the worst thing that could ever happen. And then the next day comes, and you're like, I'm alive. Like, that was funny. Listen, you can always write a joke about what's happening in your life, in the world, or anything.
Yeah.
You can scrap those jokes if you feel like you've lost confidence in them forever. But like, the being new thing, I think if that would have happened my first time on stage, I'm done. But I had already done well a couple times. Yeah. To where it was like, yeah, she cooked me, or they turned the lights off on me, bro. You know how embarrassing that shit is? Yeah. But I have to go back next week because I'm a competitor.
Yeah.
Another, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. It's like, if he misses 17 shots, as he says, the 18th is going in. Yeah. So that was my mindset. Like, I find inspiration from all these different places. And especially, this is such a lonely profession.
Yeah.
That you kind of have to find a way to stay mentally sharp and engaged.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to go, woe is me.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. In any aspect, not just bombing, but like, I didn't get the gig. I saw this person get something I want on social media.
Yeah.
Like all that shit it doesn't really affect your career unless you let it affect you creatively.
Yeah. So I mean, but that's a part of the bravery, though. I really do think that comedians have the true rock star lifestyle. You guys really do. I mean,
nice,
even a rock star has a bunch of people on stage with them.
Yeah.
And a musician has a band. Basketball players, and I mean, a comedian is on a stage with a mic, and your job is to make people do one of the hardest things that there is to do, and make them laugh.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Some of the best advice I got was a comedian that says, if you frame it like this, the audience paid money to see you succeed. Very rarely do they want you to fail.
Right.
So don't go in with the mindset of, oh, it's me versus them.
They want to laugh.
They want to laugh.
Yep.
They came to laugh.
Yep.
So when you frame it like that in your own mind, I think it's a little easier.
Look at it. That's a good way to look at it.
Not every...
You go ahead and do that. I'm gonna tell that person who I see bomb all the time. I'm gonna say, you know what?
Nuts it would be if I got on stage and I was like, you guys are welcome because I'm so brave to stand in front of you tonight. What are your 2-drink minimum? I'm going to tell these dick jokes.
You'll never go out there and they'll just already be laughing.
They're
waiting for you to make them laugh.
Yeah.
You know. So, but that's why it's good to have good openers and headliners and things
Show
like
structure
that.
is another thing that I took for granted early on.
Yeah.
It's like you want to follow good comics.
Yeah.
You don't want to follow a bomb, man, because then you got to address it. And then you have to address what just happened.
If you're good, to address
you're like, that's my boy, but I gotta cook him now.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So you want to follow good comedy because it makes the whole experience for everyone better.
Right.
Like these people just want to laugh, man.
They want to keep it going.
They don't want to be mad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What would you say are your goals in comedy?
I love this question.
And not only just goals that you want to accomplish and reach, but what goals have you reached too?
I love this. I love the conversation on goal setting.
Yeah.
I've changed this over the years of the way that I set goals. Like I'll have a big goal and then a bunch of micro goals to get me to that one.
Yep.
So it used to be, I was like, all right, I want to get on late night.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's so out of my control. So my mini goals are things that I can control. Like I want to do 200 dates this year. Yeah. I can control that. I can control those bookings. I want to film. I want to film all my sets. That's a goal. Yeah. And that's something that's like, it takes extra time. It's like, you guys are getting set up for the podcast. This is extra time. Not only did I drive for 6 hours, but let me get a camera set up and all this shit.
Yeah.
I want to write a topical piece each show. So I want to have a new topical piece each show. That'll feed social media. If I decide that I'm going to start posting clips again, I could just rip that off and post that.
Yeah.
All those are going to the direction of like sending a tape to late night.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's like, all right, in January, it's like, all right, by April, I want to have submitted to at least one thing per month that ends up getting me a credit. Ultimate goal is I want to get to a point where people are buying enough tickets to see me, not just go to a comedy show. So all the micro goals have to lead up to that, which means increasing my social media presence, which means writing more, which means doing more podcasts, which means learning different platforms and just becoming a little bit more prolific. Yeah. So the goal that I set this year was just more amorphous, I guess. It was like, I just want to be considered a great comic.
Yeah.
And that's not tangible. So I'm like, what's that mean for myself? Like, what would I need to do for myself to be considered? Like I walk in the room and I'm like, I can hang, Right. And I feel like that a lot anyway. Yeah. But like, what's the thing that gets me to the next level? So doing a lot of soul searching and follow up with myself. Like really, it's just because you set a goal doesn't mean it can't be like recharged or revised.
Right.
And so I've gotten better at leaving myself room to do that and leave myself grace within goal setting. Yeah. I try to be as intentional as possible versus like, I want to get into 6 festivals this year. It's like festivals are hard to get into. Late night's hard to get into. A lot of it's luck. Yeah. And, you don't learn that until you've been in the game for a long time until you've fought back a receding hairline and people just shave and shit. But like, yeah, man, I'm trying to focus on what I can control, which is kill the shows that I have. And it's worked out, especially this year. People have been really cool after shows, coming up and saying either, thanks for doing the political stuff. And, I also feel more command in front of an audience when I go on with that mindset, because then I'm excited. I was like, oh, I got these new jokes I'm gonna work on every fucking night. So yeah.
Well, you talked about how hard it is to get in festivals, and I know that you are involved with a festival. Yeah, Limestone.
Yes.
How many?
Year 12, baby. Year 12.
Year 12.
Year 12.
Jeez.
Year 12. Yes.
That's huge. And we were having a discussion about the submissions that you get for the number of spots that you are able to fill.
Yes.
And you get how many submissions?
So this year we got 600 submissions.
And there are how many spots?
40 spots.
So
560 enemies. 40 people got in.
560
people hit me
40
up.
people love you. 560 want to roast the shit out of you.
Yeah, they're like, pull up that Miss Pat clip. You know what's crazy is that the way that we do our submissions is through a blind panel. Oh. So we get 6 industry professionals from across the country. Yep. We get a good mix. This is very important. We get a good mix. So half the panel's women, half the panel's men.
Okay.
At least 2 are people of color. Yeah. We have people from LA, New York, Midwest, South.
Oh, damn.
And
very intentional with how you.
Yes. Yeah. And a smaller, if I said the state, it'd be obvious. But so it's important that these people aren't like paid. We're not paying people this is all volunteer.
Damn, okay.
So we try to make it as fair as possible and as subjective as possible. Yep. Take those congregate scores. And every year, 100 comics have really high scores that just didn't work. Damn. And I've received...
So you guys listen, or you guys take this 500 people that you are listening to.
Yeah, watching their tapes. And we are very specific with what we're looking for on a 5 to 7 minute tape. On our submission guidelines is like, hey, we need to be able to see you. We need to be able to hear you. 5 to 7 minutes. No crowd work. We want your jokes to like show what you're going to do at the festival. But comedians reading comprehension, they don't read shit.
So you eliminate a bunch of them right away.
One clip's 2.5 minutes sitting on his couch, just reading a Where's Waldo book. Fucking half-hour clips. It's like, no, this. If you can't follow directions, then why would we bring you to? Right. So the people that end up getting in they really deserve it. Good. And a bunch of comics that don't get in really deserve it. But I've received rejection letters. I know it's tough. Yeah. It's hard. What you shouldn't do is go on social media and start talking shit, because that's not going to help you get in next year either. Like, what you shouldn't do is go, I kill everybody. Y'all don't know what comedy is. I sell more tickets than your headliners, damn it.
Yeah, why do people get mad at they think they deserve stuff? Like
if we knew the answer to that.
Damn, that's just crazy.
We could start a lifestyle brand. I feel like.
Right.
My God. I get mad. It's the entitlement of, I worked really hard on this. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just think that they're owed.
You know what I assume when I don't get something? Yeah. Is that I haven't worked hard enough. Yeah. That's my take on it. Like when I see somebody getting something that I wanted, or a position that I wanted, I just look at it as a reason to work harder.
You're a rational person. Works hard.
Rationality works.
Sometimes it was like
accountability.
I could go rant on social media, which would have a negative impact to my career, or I could pick up a pen.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna try to get into this same festival next year that I just shit on.
They do that all the time.
That's crazy.
And it's not just festivals, but like
shows
and like clubs. Is like, there was a comic that wanted to do Bob and Tom here in Indy, and they wouldn't have them on. And he got on Twitter and started going on these rants adding Bob and Tom. Like, I'm the funniest comedian in Indiana, and you don't have me on? Wow. This is crazy. And he's adding them, and it's getting like, you know, you can see the views and shit. It's getting like 13 views. It's like, he's like, you can't flex about how good and funny you are and get 13 views.
Yeah,
like,
and they're the ones that's looking at it.
Yeah, they're like, can you believe this dude? But then he had one, he's just at Bob and Tom, all caps, just goes, last chance. It's just so insane. It's like, no, it's not. They called you tomorrow. You'd be like, oh, okay.
Crazy.
But yeah, it's a bad way to go about things. I've always been the guy that's like, you know, I came up in the Midwest, and when I was coming up, there were a lot of bitter comics who looked at just the things we were talking about, that looked at other people's careers that they started with that may have been doing better and just talk so much shit. And I was like, I'm never going to be that guy. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to, I want to uplift people. I want to give people opportunities. And I never want to be viewed as the old grump. Yeah. You know, the old grump of the comedy scene. Yeah. Even though that might be true. I want to be the guy laughing at a bomb in the back. I'm going to keep it to myself.
You're laughing at everybody bombing.
Yeah, I am. I'm laughing. I'm like, you suck.
Are laughing at everybody.
Yeah, that you suck. You deserve every not laugh you get.
Oh, you know what? I've never asked anybody, and I need to say that comedy, that genre or that art form, is the most represented guest on my podcast.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I've had more comedians than anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Well, I have a love for the art.
Yeah, that's
all that means.
That's crazy. It took you a while to ask me to be on it. It's just right here. You had my Instagram and everything. It's like, he's like, you actually comedian 101.
It was like, I've had 47.
Yeah, it's like.
But I did have a question. So let's say you're booked on a show, and I can't see you being this way, but what if there was someone on that same show that you just totally didn't get along with? Do comedians have like beef like Kendrick and Drake?
No, because we're not as talented as those two gentlemen on our best days. Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of beef.
Yeah.
A lot of beef. Yeah, you either keep to yourself or it's on like there's so many times where stuff just comes to blows.
Damn.
Like you see like Ari Spears and Donnell Rawling have this weird beef where they're yelling at each other from the crowd.
Or Donnell and
Corey Holcomb.
Corey Holcomb.
Yeah, and I'm like, this isn't productive.
Right.
But like, I don't know, like you do this long enough, you do find people you really don't like. Man. Either this person stole my joke or premise, whether it's true or not, or like, I don't like the way this person treats women. I don't like who you rock with. Yeah. My thing is like, you don't have to talk to this person.
Right. Okay.
I'm not I don't have anything with anyone that would ever like.
You're mature.
Constitute violence. Yeah. Okay. I don't think, also, the social media thing is a bit performative to me. Yeah. Like there was a situation that happened last month that was unfolding on social media, and so I just called the person. Yeah. It wasn't to do with me. It was just adjacent. Yeah. And I just called the person, sent them a text, and no response. Oh wow. And they kept it on social media, and I was like, I'm not jumping in the social media comments. Yeah. I've done that too. Okay. Like I've made those mistakes. I've gone like at people online and nothing ever happens. Yeah. So I'm of the mindset of like, oh, you just did this to stoke. You don't have another outlet. So you're like, let me go to social media so I can like, people love drama. So you know it's going to get a lot of engagement. Yeah. Nobody wants to really talk stuff out face to face. I don't think. No,
that's not cool. It's not a lot. No. It's not a lot of traction with that.
No.
You don't want to fix it.
You don't want to fix it. You don't want to. You also don't want to be the beef guy.
Right. You don't.
This isn't hip hop. Right. Like I don't think Kendrick wanted to be the beef guy, But Drake
I
was
think
just
Kendrick-
like, drop.
But I think
Drop, I
Kendrick-
dare you. I dare you to drop. Where you at? It's been 6 days. Drop. I bet you won't. Please stop. Can someone call my lawyer, please? I would like to file all the charges.
I think Kendrick wanted that beef so bad.
Yeah, he was waiting. I think he was waiting. He was waiting for a minute, man. That's a Zen level of patience.
Yeah, that was on some Bruce Lee type shit.
It really was.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
you will make you will leave yourself open to a parry and a takedown, and it's going to be very difficult to recover from.
And impossible even.
Yeah, I'm gonna break that leg. He sweep the leg. What's he doing, Karate Kid? He said, sweep the... We were all on the sideline. Like, sweep the
leg. If you could give advice to a person that was contemplating hitting a open mic, first time, what would be the best advice you could give them?
Write 3 minutes. What you think is 3 minutes of jokes.
Yeah.
So your first time is probably going to be at a 3-minute open mic.
Yeah.
And then time yourself at home in the mirror.
Yeah.
And see if you make it to that 3 minutes. Your first time, you're writing a lot of stuff. A lot of times people want to tell stories their first time, and that draws things out. Or sometimes people want to tell one joke and it's really like 90 seconds. Yeah. So they've been up there for 90 seconds, what they think is 3 minutes, and they're just like, woo, these lights are bright. Bright lights, huh? Yeah, I think that's it, huh? So time yourself. Don't invite anybody that you know. Yeah, show up like Batman. Don't invite anybody that you know to your first open mic. Do it a couple times.
Nobody you know.
Don't do a bringer for your first time.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you're not good. So you bring your friends and a bunch of them come out because they want to see you. Yeah. And they're going to laugh and they're going to be like, you definitely got up there.
It's not real.
It's not real. It baits you into like a false sense of what it really is.
Yeah.
First couple times, do the same set and then invite your people.
Okay.
And be like, hey, see? And then be like, oh man, that's good. And then you'll get the actual reward of doing well in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
But don't let that be your first time. I think that's a tremendous mistake. Because that second time you go and nobody comes, it's like, oh, we just saw you. You're not coming next week. And then you walk up with the same confidence, but none of your friends are in the crowd.
Yeah.
And like, what the fuck? Because they weren't in your college dorm. They don't know the inside joke you're talking about.
They don't know that you're funny.
They don't know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then just, rip the Band-Aid off. Don't procrastinate. If you want to do it, go find a way to do it. I think everyone says they want to and just wait.
Yeah.
Just, go do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Don't tell nobody.
Rip it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't call yourself a comedian because you did one open mic. But that's for another podcast.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We don't
you're right. You're right. Though.
Yeah. We don't give me, I don't want no smoke from nobody.
That is not respecting the art. That is not respecting the art. You did some open mics. You are not a comedian.
Mm-mm.
I think, I can even go in there, but I just think that you're not a comedian until you're living off of it.
Yeah, you got to get
that you have to made sacrifices because of it. Like, you don't have to live off of it. You can have another job and be getting paid. But what I'm saying is, you're not something until you've made actual sacrifices in your lifestyle to be that.
Yeah,
and I think that's for anything.
That's beautiful.
When it comes to an art,
right?
And we can all say, I can say I'm a rapper because I wrote a song and I recorded it. Yeah. And that's the only thing I got. But that don't make me a rapper.
Right. Like,
there's so many layers. That's disrespect to the people that are putting in so much work to these things, So I totally agree that you have a lot more work to put in before you call yourself anything.
Yeah. It's like, because then you start to get the sense of like, oh, I do deserve this. I am a comedian.
Correct.
Now I'm gonna get mad when I don't get like.
Yeah, now that's where you see it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you got opinions.
How come I didn't get to this festival? I started this year. I got 3 lines.
Yeah, I know I didn't submit, but why didn't I get in?
Right.
Comedians don't know in my bio.
Right. Right. In the city of Indianapolis, and I know you travel, you work out of the city a lot, but there's a small comedy scene here in the city.
Yeah.
Who would you say are some of the people that we should be looking out for coming up out of Indy, or even have been here and recently left?
Oh man, like there's so many. I think there's a like higher level of professional comedians that actually go on the road.
Yep.
Like Gwen Sunkel.
Yep.
Brent Terhune. Like he has a huge following just out of the Midwest, and kind of it's inspiring just because he's kind of built a following without. He's done it his own way, and it's good.
Yep.
You know, David Brooks is getting a lot of work. I think Aisha Brown is
she's hilarious,
criminally underrated in the city. I think she's so funny, man.
She's reminds me a lot of Miss Pat.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Like just how edgy she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
funny as hell.
She's also more kind. She's also more kind than. Oh man. Shout out to Emil Joaquim from Bloomington.
Emil Joaquim.
Yeah, he's a cast member on SNL. He just got it this year.
Damn, from Bloomington. From Bloomington.
He started at the Comedy Attic. Fucking nice kid, man. Yep. Hilarious, poignant. He just had a desk bit on the Weekend Update.
Oh, dope.
So yeah, man, like there's so much talent in the Midwest, not just Indiana. Yep. It feels like we share so many talent pools.
Right.
So always driving 2 hours to do everyone else's show. And, you know, I'm just like, I'm so happy that I moved back.
Oh, good.
And did my career this way.
Yeah.
Sort of like a tortoise in the hare situation versus like, if I got everything that I wanted or that I thought I want. You know, it's talking to friends from New York, they think that they want what I got. It's like, I got to get on the road and I want to do an hour at a time instead of 10 minutes at a time. And I'm like, man, I want to do late night. And they're like, you don't. And I'm like, no, you don't want it. I was like, do any of us want anything? Yeah. I don't know what anybody wants. You want what I got. I want what you got. Yeah, exactly. It's like we all broke. I guess, I don't know. I got a backyard. That's what makes me happy.
Right.
But yeah, man, like, I think I feel guilty sometimes just because I'm a bit disconnected because I'm on the road so much and I am married. So like when I'm at home, I try to be at home. Yeah. So I'm not always the most active going to shows and like seeing the new crop of comics. But
you did judge Indiana's Funniest last year.
I did. Yeah. It was good. Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of talent. Yeah. And a lot of not talent. But, they see themselves out the first round. You got to shoot your shots. You got to jump in the ring at some point, baby. You weren't ready for the fight, but
right. Who else? Who is it? There's a bunch of people out there that are funny.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, people running shows, man. Like, what's funny is that there's been an independent scene here for a long time.
Yeah.
And the Indiana Business Journal just did a story on independent comedy.
Oh, wow.
That included Cam O'Connor, Dustin Burkert, and Tyson Cox.
Damn.
Who all like run shows. And shout out to Alex Price, who, you know, runs Let's Comedy here in Indianapolis. Yep. Also a fantastic stand-up, man. Oh, okay. That dude is so funny.
Okay.
He opens for Attell a bunch.
Oh, wow. That's one of my favorites.
Dude, it's like, man, a dude from India is opening up for Attell. It's cool. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny because the Indiana Business Journal did a story on independent comedy, which has been happening since 2011 here.
Yeah.
And they did that because Crackers Comedy Club closed.
That's crazy.
I was like, do you know how disconnected you have to be?
That's crazy.
That this shitty comedy club closed, and you're like, what else is happening to the people who read the Business Journal? Oh, they're doing comedy at breweries now. They did it at a bookstore. They're having a show at Scotch. Is it Scotch or Scotch? They're having it at Scotch Coffee.
Scotch Coffee.
To the readers of the Business Journal, did you know they're doing stand-up outside of a comedy club now? Rest in peace, Crackers, which no one liked.
All comedians hated Crackers.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, man.
I've never heard anybody say anything positive about that place, which is it's like it's
we
so
have
funny
to address this.
It's so great that you do have comics on here because it's a more relevant platform and it's more connected than like this antiquated comedy club and them just now finding out. It was very funny. And those guys were very kind and generous with the interview, I thought.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know.
So I was just mad.
I know Tyson Cox. I know Tyson very well and Dustin very well.
Man.
I'm sure that they deserve it, though.
Those are hustlers right there, man.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I'm like, shine is shine. Get your shine on.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a question that I ask every guest. It's like around the end of the podcast, and I will ask you, how would you define success?
Ooh. I'm curious what the other 47 comics you had on before me said. No.
I love this question. I'll tell you what.
I love this question.
Every comedian that answers this question, I belly laugh.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm like, woo!
Oh! It was like every comedian that answered this question, I can't stop laughing.
Oh, man. What defines success? This is a independent art form where you have to define it for yourself, honestly. And it's something I struggle with quite a bit because we do live in a digital age where you're always comparing yourself to other people's quote unquote success.
Yep.
My version of success is like, how did I do on my goals that year?
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to travel the country and get paid to tell jokes into a microphone. I know that's lucky. And I try to remind myself of that because so much of it is like grind. And it's like, man, just stop and like enjoy it for a second.
Yeah.
And the fact that I get to do that and also call this my actual job, to me, that's a W. That's a win.
Right.
Success would be like, there's parts to this, right? Of course, I would like to be more financially stable.
Yeah.
And I would like to be at a point where all of my shows sell out with my fans.
Yeah.
That's success to me. And that's what I'm chasing. But I think it's important to stop and be like, oh yeah, I get to do this cool shit. And people do come to the shows.
Yeah.
And people do enjoy it and connect with it. That's a W. That doesn't mean that I get to get complacent. There's several steps that I want to accomplish in that. Yeah. And a big part of this to me is like, do you have the respect of your peers? People that, you respect, do they respect you back?
Yeah.
Are you moving through the landscape of comedy and art with like intention and kindness? Are you giving back to it, not just taking? Yeah. Like, produce a show, fucking run a festival, give people opportunities. Yeah. Are you being a good person in that sense? That's very important to me. Yeah. As well as, I always had this thing, it was like, I feel like it made me a better writer. I was like, if my favorite comic walked in the room, like if Chris Rock walked in the room while I was on stage, would he laugh? Would he leave? Yeah. Like, that's always like in the back of my head. It's like, if a comic that I fucking like, Roy Wood Jr. walked in and saw me doing stand-up, how would he feel? Yeah. And I think that pushes me in the right direction of like, all right, you need to stay on balance and don't just chase the social media clip and don't play this game. You got into this to be a writer. Yeah. And so it's this coalescence of all these things together that I'm kind of chasing. And I think that's what success is to me.
That's what's up, man. That's a dope answer, too.
Thank you, man. You didn't laugh once, though. that was hurtful. I was like, I'm bombing again.
I was about to cry.
I was like, they gonna turn off the lights. I was like, I'm gonna say something funny real quick. I swear to God.
I almost switched the lights off. I almost turned them off. I was like, right in the middle of it.
He's like, God damn, did he say coalescence?
All right, so now we're gonna go into a segment that I have called This or That. And every question that you answer, I donate $10 to charity. And if you don't answer, I don't donate. But it gets a little dicey.
Extortion. Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. I would imagine.
It gets a little dicey.
He's like, this or that. Did OJ do it? Yes. Or no, right. This is going to abuse.
And we're gonna start easy for you. Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Okay, I got to answer.
You don't like either?
I don't like soda.
Okay.
So, but I will drink a Diet Coke if I'm hungover.
Okay.
It's the Anthony Bourdain. He's like, what you do is if you're hungover, you get some spicy Szechuan food, you drink a Diet Coke and you smoke a joint. And then he's like, it works every time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's your medication of a hangover.
Cha-ching, son.
All right. This is a good one. Donald Trump or Elon Musk?
Oh, what the fuck? Yo. Just like with
you gotta pick one.
With no context. To do what, though?
You're just picking one. You're just picking one. You can pick them for whatever reason.
What charity is it?
We're gonna click. We're gonna. What charity is it? Clip whatever you say. We're gonna say. I know. I pick Elon.
Yeah. And I understand.
I picked Donald Trump.
Yeah, you Photoshop me doing the Nazi salute on the cover art. That's crazy. I pick. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Charity. I'm sorry.
Say not picking.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is four. This was easy. You rather have a car, an SUV, a pickup, or a sports car?
Ooh. It used to be a car, but now it's a SUV. So I had a Prius that I had like 200,000, and then it got totaled, and so I was renting stuff, cars, and I got upgraded to a Hyundai Santa Fe.
A Santa Fe,
and I was like, yeah. I think
that's that weird looking car.
It ain't that weird. It ain't a Cybertruck. You go to rent a car, they're like, yeah, you in the Cybertruck. They're like, no. It wasn't that weird. Like, wait. No, it's like a little box.
It's a beautiful car.
Sure. It's beautiful inside. I was like, I think after years of being scrunched up in a Prius, you're like, this is what legroom is?
Oh, man. All right. We got...
Got to be gas mileage, though. I drive too much. Got to be good on it. Was a hybrid. So, yeah.
Joe Rogan or Bobby Lee?
Bobby Lee. Easy.
Kevin Hart or Cat Williams?
Oh. Cat Williams, barely.
Okay.
Cat Williams on the stand-up, I think, is like nobody. I don't know. People talk about him the way that he should be. When it comes to
good.
He is a monster.
He is,
and very unique. And but yeah, man, Kevin Hart's a megastar and a little cheesy, but like
he's funny though.
Everybody would take that career if the worst thing they called you was cheesy.
Right.
Fucking put me in Jumanji too, dog.
Okay, gets a little dicey. Thad McKee or Dyke Michaels?
Woo! Oh, you don't give no context or nothing. Yeah, I'm sorry, Charity. Those are my mans. I'm not doing that one. Okay,
well.
You said it get a little dicey. Why you put you? Yeah, I can't have two.
Just a little dicey.
You can't put two black comedians together. Two white comedians. I'll answer that shit in a heartbeat.
Harlem Nights or Coming to America?
Ooh, that's tough, but it's Coming to America.
Okay.
That's tough. Harlem Nights is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Coming to America.
Okay.
Classic.
Would you rather watch a movie in the theater or a movie at home?
Theater.
Theater.
Easy. I go to movies by myself a lot.
Okay.
I dig it. I don't know. I'm not bragging, but AMC Stubs.
Hey, I got that.
Plus.
A-list,
son.
baby.
Yeah, y'all standing that slow ass line.
Right.
I got some Sour Patch Kids.
We get 3 free movies a week.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Would you rather have a cabin in the woods or a cabana on the beach?
I don't know what a cabana is, but yeah, I'm gonna choose the beach anyway.
So I don't know
what it is, but it sounds better than a cabin in the woods.
It's kind of like a tent on the beach. It's like you.
Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah. That's better. That's like you don't have to deal with the sun.
Right.
No, fuck the woods. My wife is from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, so I've been camping, and I don't. Yeah, fuck the woods.
Okay. We got Gwen Sunkel or Hannah Rushline?
Gwen Sunkel.
Gwen Sunkel. And lastly,
I did say, I know I'm supposed to pick Hannah because she's a minority. No, I love them both. Because Gwen's the winner of the last helium contest.
Oh yeah.
Hannah's super funny. Yeah, but I travel with Gwen.
So in comedy,
yes,
Is it better to be fearless or funny?
Funny.
Funny.
I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
Existential question, but your job is to make people laugh.
Right.
I think your job is to like find your voice and be yourself, and that takes a level of fearless.
Yeah.
But I think you get there. But yeah, the most important thing is are people laughing. Yeah. We're not going to see a speech. We're not watching Cory Booker do a filibuster. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
He didn't make me laugh once in 25 hours. It's like, he ain't got no jokes.
He did at the end. When he said, this is the first time I'm going to deny you or something.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time I'm not going to listen.
Right.
This first time.
Right.
That was the only time that was funny.
Yeah. That was the only time.
That was the only funny part in that 24-hour speech.
If you get one joke off in 25 hours of stand-up, you could be fearless if you want to, but you're not going to get booked again. It's a different job.
He did 25 hours and said one joke. Damn. Well, that's dope, man. I appreciate you participating.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, that's good.
You got me sweating over here. God damn. Now I'm definitely going to get some hate mail.
Well, I really appreciate your time coming on the podcast. It's been long overdue, but I appreciate your
of course, man. I
candor.
Love you, man. Love what you're doing.
Yeah, I love what you do, man. And I've seen you on stage. I've seen you in the woods. I've seen you.
You noticed I didn't say tonight. I got off stage and got in my car.
He left a camping trip. He just did a 30-minute set and bounced.
They said, we're going to the bonfire. I was like, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you will have fun.
So everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to Dwight and I's conversation. We have a newsletter coming out, and it'll tell you everything that I'm doing, everything that we're involved with, anything that is happening in the city of Indianapolis that I find to be interesting. And Dwight, how can people find you?
DwightSimmons.com has links to all my social media on there.
Yep.
Whatever you like to use. I use Instagram the most. Also has my tour dates on there as well. So yeah, just my name and .com, and then it's just my name on any social media platform. So,
right on. Yeah, we're staying active this summer, this year. Follow dmoney.com. Please go to it, check it out. Peace.
D Money.